Well, greetings, people of the internet. Unkyjoe here, Unkyjoe's Playhouse. I'm back, and I brought some friends with me. Yes, say hello to my little friends. The floor and the desks, and we're going to go over that in some detail. I'm going to show you what it is I did to the studio, why you haven't seen me in a coon's age, and what we're going to be doing differently moving forward. Because as I get a little bit older in life, I like to reminisce and tell stories, and I like to tell the story about how this channel got started originally. It was a dead knockoff to Morton's channel at my Playhouse. Shout out to Morton. He kind of inspired me to get behind the wheel, so to speak, and start this channel all those years ago. And frankly, if I ever had considered the fact that I'd get 100 people to watch one of my videos, would have just amazed me back then. Now I freak out when I get a video that doesn't get over 1,000 views, but when you put it in perspective, the fact that anybody watches my videos should amaze me, if nothing else. So I want to start out by saying how appreciative I am for those of you that have subscribed over the years. You've given me almost 13,000 subscribers up to this point, and I generally appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're like me, I'm an avid YouTube watcher. I spend most of my time on it rather than watching, worthless regular TV, and the odd occasional movie that comes by me. I spend a lot of my time on the internet, so I have a lot of viewers, I have a lot of people who not only do I watch, but they're viewers of my channel. And so I want a special shout out to some of those people right now. And one of those people, I get more comments out of anything on this silly hat. And a good friend of mine named Willie Howe sent this to me all those years ago when I was just, maybe I had 200 or 300 subscribers. I was a little bitty channel, but I was doing some good videos, and Willie took notice of it, and he sent me this hat. So this has got a very soft spot in my heart. Willie's been a good friend over the years, and we tried doing a podcast together, me and a couple other guys and him, and our schedules, we just couldn't get it to work out. But I had more fun with him and Joe Trelli. Shout out to you as well. I miss those old days, the good times we had. But that's what life is all about. It waxes and it wanes. But here lately, I finally got tired of the studio. What really was the killer for me was I backed up my chair. You know how plywood works, how a plywood floor is? It's got laminated sheets of this like thin lumber. They pack it over one another, they glue it, and then they put it in a steam press. That's how they make plywood. Well, I've had nothing but bare plywood floors in this studio since, well, I started it, right? Because we tore all the carpet up or whatever the hell else it was in here. This used to be 2 separate rooms. Anyway, I digress. And we pulled up all the stuff and left the plywood floor. Well, for years, my fat ass has been rolling around in this chair, and it's slowly delaminating the floor. Even with a chair guard here, a chair thingy to go under your chair. Because it moves with the chair, it won't stay put, and I don't want to nail it, I don't want to staple it. So we had some extra flooring left from the dining room, and I told the spouse, would you please let me take the rest of that flooring and put it in here and at least get half of the room done, which was my goal, and get it done. And then I wanted to get one new desk, I saw a really good deal on a sit-stand desk for $185 or $189 on Amazon. I got to pick my own top. Yeah, pay no attention to the aquariums going on and off. It happens. Anyway, so I finally got a sit-stand desk here. I ordered a special 2-arm pneumatic or spring-loaded arm for monitors, because these are big suckers. They're 27-inch curved Samsung monitors. that I was given by a client a couple of years ago. Shout out to you, Ed. Thank you. You helped make this channel possible as well. As I drink coffee from my other sponsor, Shade Tree Refrigeration. Great guy over there. Kudos to you. I drink in your honor. And so I was looking for a project to get these guns working. Look at those guns. Get these guns working around the house and get me some exercise. And so feeling spry from after laying the dining room floor, I decided to tackle this beast in here. Keep in mind, while I'm doing that, I've taken on a couple of new clients now, and I haven't had a lot of time to do a lot of the things. And I had a lot of thinking to do about how I wanted to continue to do my YouTube channel moving forward, because I don't want to give it up. I have no intention of giving up. I like sharing what I do with other people. But the form that I use has to change because it's just not interesting to me anymore. And couple that with the fact that prices for hardware is just through the roof right now. Not that I was any big new hardware purchaser, show or offer kind of person, you know what I'm saying? But that's not in the cards. And frankly, I've got more computers than I know what to do with. We got the HAL 9000 down here. We got the Retro Cube. We got my Mac Studio or Mac Pro. We got a Mac.
You've got mail.
I've got mail evidently too. I've got a Mac Mini M2 behind me, and I've just a laptop. I've got a laptop. I've got a Surface Pro. I've got a frickin' Android tablet. I've got 2 Android phones. I've got an iPad that a client bought me so I can support their iPads. I've enough. Stop. I don't need no more stuff. So what I think I want to do is show you how to use it all, right? We got all this stuff, but no time to appreciate using it and learning with it. And for me, that's the whole reason I bought this stuff. I didn't buy it to sit it somewhere in the corner. I wanted to have some use for me. And, what brought this on is all this, AI. We'll get it. We're not going to cover AI too much in this video, but it is going to be a part of this channel moving forward. So those of you that don't like AI, well, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Go somewhere else, watch something else for a while. It's not going to be 100% IT, but it's going to sneak its way in on every video I do, because my plans are to run it all locally and integrate it with my systems here and show you, how hard or easy that is to do. I don't know. I'm a pretty old guy. I've been having to learn Microsoft 365 as I go, but I've caught on pretty quickly. So I think I've still got the mental capacity to do that. But today's video is all about what it took to make this happen. So I'm going to go ahead and play that video, and then I'll narrate parts of it and tell you what else has been going on and what my plans are moving forward. All right, so let's get the party started. The first thing I have to do is clear space for those 10-gallon fish tanks that are going to come off of the other rack in the room. So my partner and my spouse and I this is a 40-gallon tank that's going to go into the said dining room, whose floor we just finished doing and repainting and kind of decorating. Thank God for my spouse's big ass to hold that door open, because as you can see, I have the dreaded white man's disease. No ass at all. But anyway, we're carefully trying not to break things, getting this behemoth 40-gallon breeder tank into the new dining room that you can barely see because the light has kind of washed everything out. But here we are. I bought a stand for this aquarium a few months before we finished the floor in the dining room, because we knew we wanted an aquarium in there, a big, large display tank. The problem is the display tanks are not they're not appropriate for my office, because I'm mainly dealing with small breeds of fish, typically guppies and swordtails and those kind of things, and I don't breed a lot, so I really don't need a big breeding tank. Here I am getting the 10-gallon tanks broken down and making space for them on the aquarium bench there. That other 40-gallon tank to my left will also be broken down here in the next 6 months. We've got another place in the house where we'd like to keep that. But I was clearing an area off here so I could get these 10-gallon tanks broken down and moved out of the way, because there's a rack over there on that wall. And a lot of people don't realize it. I tend to wait till the last minute to do things till I'm really kind of forced to do them. It's just my nature, because I know there's going to be a lot of work involved. And while I'm not afraid of hard work, it's just you have to be committed to a project like this and be able to spend the time in order to get it done, or you're going to be left with a project half finished and in your way all the time. And the key to any project is keeping the work area clean and keeping your tools organized and leaving enough room for you to work, especially as you get older, because it's a little harder to get up and down from the floor. And let me tell you, just the act of this vacuuming kind of knocks an old fart like me out, who's not very active, pretty sedentary during most of my day, which was the reason another reason I escalated this and moved it forward, because I wanted a sit-stand desk so that during the day I could stand, do my work, and it was better for me than just sitting all day, and it would inspire me to get up and do something. And it's a lot easier to work under a sit-stand desk that is a table like I had here, but it's a lot of work for an old guy like me. And I was doing this on weekends and after dinner, or during or on the weekend if I had time. And anyone who's ever laid a floor will tell you the key item is the first row. If the first row is not parallel to the room, none of the other rows are going to line up. So take your time. You lay this out correctly. And a little I learned from another person who laid floors for a living about the nail gun trick with these click and lock tiles. Because remember, nothing holds these floor tiles down except for the trim around the edge of the room. That's why you leave a gap so that you can put the trim on. The trim keeps, but the floor locks together as one big plank. So they have to be connected together properly. And a lot of people don't realize you have to go up and come down from the top. And when you're connecting two strips together, that can be a bit of a pain. Anyway, my spouse was here helping me put down. I wanted to put down an underlayment here because we didn't have anything on top of the plywood, and just give it a nice kind of soft cushion surface to go on. This tile does not require a backing. Also, I decided to turn the telco rack sideways. It actually takes up, it's a better use of that corner than it pointing one way or the other, and a lot easier to get to the rack. And then you can see the hot mess I've got left to me out on the walls, and just after I get the floor laid. But yeah, it's a lot of work, but I enjoy this doing this kind of stuff, because you really feel like you accomplished something at the end of the day. It is a hot mess and it is disruptive, but if you start to get frustrated with working on a project like this, then just walk away. And there's the batteries. We'll be fixing all that in my next video. We're going to discuss how I changed that system too, because I had some wires coming up under the floor and I wanted to eliminate that and bring all the wires in through the wall from that point forward. And then here's just a bit more progress. Now, this channel is not a home improvement channel. It's not it's just Unkyjoe's Playhouse. The whole idea of this channel was to bring like-minded people together and share my daily life and the projects I'm working on around my house and the computer projects I work on. So moving forward, I'm going to re-embrace that idea behind these videos, and I'm just not really going to be making, like, I did a lot of how-to and lab videos before, and they don't get a lot of views. It's a very niche group of people who want to see that kind of thing. So I'm just going to do these kind of free-form videos moving forward and share little events in my life with you and things you might find interesting, but stuff I definitely find interesting. But I'm not going to be setting up Proxmox labs. I'm not going to be doing anything like that. I'm pretty much dedicated to being a Windows shop. That means I pretty much run everything under Windows or Windows Server, including Docker containers. This thing right here is the mount I bought for the desk, so I had to very carefully measure and drill a hole. And as you can see, I had kind of a bit of fun. I had my coffee with me, so it was all good. But anyway, back to what I was saying about the making of the videos. So my operating system of choice is Windows, and that's just because I know Windows so well. I mean, really, Windows does everything I need an operating system to do. And so if you want to know how you can do it on Windows, there's a ton of people out there that'll show you how to do things under Linux. But it's just my preference to do Windows. Now, that doesn't mean I won't run Linux as a virtual machine. In fact, 9 times out of 10, I prefer to run a Linux virtual machine as opposed to a Docker container. I just like the control I get running those virtual machines under Hyper-V. And yeah, you can run things under Hyper-V as easily as you do under something like Proxmox or something like that. I don't use Proxmox for my clients, so I really don't use it other than in a lab or maybe in my environment here, a onesie, twosie thing. But I'm just not really dedicated to it anymore like I was. It was fun to play with while it lasted. I'm a big fan as far as hypervisors go. That is my number 2 choice, right behind Hyper-V, and Windows in general, especially Windows Server. And you'll see why moving forward as we make more videos. The emphasis will be on how I do it with Windows, because a lot of people don't even know you can do a lot of these things under Windows. And of course, the key to anything is getting everything all wired up. So I wanted to make sure I was showing off the sit-stand desk to the spouse. And that little chair thing I got down there, that little seat that you can invert and flip over, for a guy my age, that's a lifesaver, man. They say if you can't get off the floor, you got a problem. You're out of shape. And without that device, I can get off the floor, but I got to have something to crawl up on, whether it be a desk or, an ottoman or something like that. So that's another reason why I did what I did in this room and moved to these sit-stand desks. Now, will I keep to using them? I've got a reminder every couple hours that I need to. It's called Get Up, Move. So I have to at least get out of my chair and walk around for 10 to 15 minutes, go get a new cup of coffee or stretch my legs or whatever. And I take that opportunity to put the computer in stand mode. And then the next 2 hours of work, I do standing like you see me here. And it's working out quite well for me. But the key, of course, was to get that little bit of tile down so I could at least get my office back up and running. While I loved working in the dining room, I love that view out of my window. I've got everything at my disposal I need right here in this little corner, and I was eager to get everything set up and running. So that's why this got most of my attention. Plus, once this side of the room was done, I could then move all the stuff from the other side over and set up the other side of the room. So yeah, there's going to be I've had, actually, believe it or not, I've had people. Oh, I just wanted to show you. If you look behind me here, the stack of batteries, the Redodo batteries, That's how I had them set up before. In the next video coming up after this one, in a week or two, you'll see what I did with those batteries. You can actually see them there. So here I am, probably about a week later. I was ready to get eager to get the rest of that floor down. And something a guy who lays floors for a living taught me a long time ago was how to properly lock those click and lock into place, but also that you could use a pin nailer on the sides to keep them from moving, from becoming out of square with one another, and not having to worry about putting spacers in at the ends of a run. And it worked out really well. And then I've also got this little blocker to help you put stuff in place. Now keep in mind, I need to pin nail some of those tiles because I'm up to the point there on that black rack against the wall where I can't go any closer to the wall. This is going to be my stopping point here for this section of the floor. But just take your time and do it the best you can. I was doing it, like I said, maybe taking a half a day of work off on a Friday, and then do it on Saturday or Sunday, or in the evening after dinner. It just depended. Whatever time I had, I would avail myself to getting this done. And it wasn't easy. I realize how out of shape I am, but now that I've done it, I'm invigorated by it, and actually, I'm eager now to get the rest of the room tiled, hopefully soon. So again, not that I've given up Proxmox or anything like that, and you'll still see it in my stuff that I do. But I want to show people, Windows gets a bad rap, and I don't feel a need to be an advocate for Windows. I'm only an advocate for Windows because it works, and it works well for what I need to get done. And I don't think a lot of people realize the power they have with using Windows, something you already have. So if you're a fan of Windows, and not even a fan, but if you're a Windows user and you want to get a little more oomph out of it, as long as you got RAM and storage space, you're pretty good to go. Now, I wanted to memorialize the assembly of this desk because it's not very often you'll see Unkyjoe buy two of something. I've got to be really impressed with something that I've purchased to buy a second one, and especially something I consider a luxury item. A luxury item is a desk. Usually I'm used to using those $30 or now $70 plastic Walmart, Costco folding tables. They worked well. I used them as a desk for years. They make a great workbench. But I wanted something better. I wanted something sit and stand. I wanted something new. I've never owned a new desk in my life. And I ran across these. They came highly recommended. They're built pretty tough. I wouldn't want to sit on it. Yeah, I think the top would break. The top is not really thin, but it's I wouldn't trust it to hold my weight. The frame I would. That's a well-built frame. They don't use cheap metal on this. It's a well-built frame. Solidly put together, and a ton of screws go into that top decking portion. I always wondered how they got those big top tabletops into a small box. Well, they cut them into size, and then they give you brackets to put them back together. And you'll see how many screws it takes to secure this frame into this top of this table. It's very well made. The motor that raises the device up and down, it's connected via a rod that goes between those two black uprights there, because we're looking at the bottom of the desk. And you untension it, and you can pull the rod out to the size it needs to be, and then you tension it back up. That way the motor on one side can do the height adjuster on the other side. It's really quite well made, well thought out, and engineered desk. I'm very pleased with it. It was very easy to assemble. There were extra parts for everything. There were extra screws, just in case you lost one or they didn't put the right number in. And you see how easy it was to set it up. Now, the next item I'm assembling is something I didn't know I needed. And this is a wire basket that is made to hang on the back of a desk. See, I've never had a desk you can hang things on or screw things into, like microphone arms and monitor arms. So this is new territory for me. So I bought this on a whim and thought, how can I keep the wires off the floor and keep them semi-organized? The other beautiful thing about this desk is it's so light and so easy to move around. So I bought this little wire organizer, and let me tell you, it's like butter on bread, man. It's really wonderful. Now, you notice I'm spending a lot of time wiping off these monitors because of the red dust Mars explosion. For those of you that don't know it, I cleaned out an aquarium one day, and it had iron oxide powder in it to help the plants, and I let it dry out and then sucked it out with a vacuum that did not have a filter bag on it, and was not paying much attention when it was ejecting red Mars dust out the back of it and all over every item I own in this world in this office. So I have to meticulously clean each and every item as I put it back into place to make sure there are no traces of that red dust on them. But anyway, back to the little thing hanging on the back. It just basically gives you a place to run all the wires in. And then conveniently enough, I was able to hang the power strip on the back as well. Now, I've got this thing. You'll see that, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing to these devices. There's my Mac Mini. That's a USB hub on the end with a power connector, so you can actually plug a phone into it and power it up or provide power to some device. And this is the finished product here. So I'm never quite satisfied with what I'm doing. I need to put a transition there. We're going to find a rug to lay across that. That is pinned in place so that it can't move. And then I like to leave space behind my desks for lights and cameras and stuff. And all that stuff behind the chair is going away. But I was not quite sure where I wanted to position that metal rack when I went to put it back into place. So you're going to get to see the decision I made, not necessarily the best decision. And that rack is very light. It's very light Chinese steel. It's probably World Trade Center steel. Anyway, so I tried it this way, and no, I wasn't real happy with it. And this thing is not going to be holding much consequential stuff. I'm getting to the point now where I don't like my tech stuff being on display as much as I like flowers and ornamental stuff and decorative stuff. So this will either be covered with something like plants or tchotchkes, one of the two. The tech stuff I tend to keep in the bins. But I just want to give you the view coming into the room. This table, I'm going to replace that eventually with a workbench with a peg background, but I didn't have the money to invest in that right now. I'm quite happy with the fact that I chose to put the rack in the corner. It just works out better that way. And here's an image of the second desk. I'm glad I spent the money and got the second desk. There's the batteries in their new home, and we got another, but here it is, the Velcro test. I am pushing that thing so hard it rattled the lamp. There's my little switch box, multi-port. There's my Mac Mini, and it's glued down, and then there's my USB hub and charging station. And all is well with the world. And it's a Huger, to live, to love, to laugh desk. I don't know what that means. I don't know if I should be afraid of that. And then the main reason for getting it, so you just set the height that you want this at, and bing, bang, boom, you got it. All right, folks, so I'm doing a voiceover here after the fact, is like you couldn't tell. And I'm just hoping to see that it overrides the audio that's there already. And it looks like it is. So anyway, yeah, the sit-stand desk, and I went a little too high on this one and pulled out the USB cable and buggered it up. But of course I cut that out of the video. I didn't want you to see that. But yeah, it's that desk. This second desk is actually a brilliant idea. If you get a chance to set up your desk in a U configuration, it's wonderful because you're able to spin around, keep the desks relatively close to one another, spin around and move your task over to a different desk if you need to, and help you to refocus. Like, I do a lot of stuff on one desk that is strictly business related, and then the other desk is for, like, if I'm doing an AI or if I'm doing a research video for publication or something like that. There's the new Brother laser printer I bought with a scanner. No fax on it though. And then, you know, my new desk. And again, yeah, I'm quite pleased with the way all of this turned out. I am going to do some wire management down there. I'm not quite happy with that. But as far as the floor goes, man, I couldn't be happier with the choice I made, or the choice I made on the monitor arm, and that's saying a lot. Usually I regret a lot of my purchase decisions. Well, there you go. It is, well, it's as complete as it's going to be for now. So, you know, we got the flooring in, we got the desks in. I'm quite proud of the fact that I can still roll my fat bohunkus around on the floor. I can still get up off the floor. That fact amazes me more than anything else. And still do that work because I do enjoy doing it. And so that's where I've been for the past couple of 2-3 weeks and weekends, and just trying to squeeze it in between working a full-time job for a bunch of clients and keeping up with that, keeping up with the house and family and all the other stuff that gets involved. So, well, anyway, we hope you found the video entertaining and informative as always. And we hope you're happy with some of the changes we've announced, and you subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and click that little notification bell to be notified when new videos come out. Donate if you're so inclined, PayPal, Patreon, or the YouTube join function. Thank you again for coming to see me. Blessings upon all of you. And we'll see all of you on the other side. Somewhere on the other side.
I've been watching old Unkyjoe. From Texas heat to where the cacti grow. Fixing server solar power in the land, hoping that his plans all stand, making life a touch more bright underneath those southern lights.